Hey guys, Eric here at Pioneer Survival Company. As you can tell, winter is in full swing here in Ohio. And with that in mind, with temperatures dropping, storms moving in, I wanted to discuss a new natural fire starter that I ran across the other day. Stay with me and we'll go ahead and get into the details. Alright, well, the plant I wanted to discuss is actually this one right here. It is the milkweed plant. And this one doesn't have very much in it. But usually, these pods here are just filled with this, it's like a white fluffy, almost like cotton material. Basically, what it's for, this tiny fluffy material is attached to seeds, so when the wind blows, it just carries them out and deposits them. So that cottony material is a very, very good flash tinder. So basically, as soon as you hit that with a spark from, say, like a ferro rod, it just bursts into flames. It will only burn for a matter of maybe a second, if that, but it burns really hot. So if you have a good base for your tinder bundle and bird's nest, that should be enough to get it started. The second part is the little piece here that the seeds are actually attached to. It's inside here also. Now, this one's slopping wet right now because it's already broke open. You want to find these when they're still closed. It actually keeps them really dry. All the material inside that, if they haven't broke open yet, it's perfectly fine to use for a fire. You don't have to put it in your pocket, let it dry out, or anything like that. But the center piece here, it is a real fluffy, it feels almost like styrofoam in a way. And if you just barely rip it in half, and it's soaking well, I'll have to find one that's not popped open, but if you rip it in half like that, it exposes all these little fibers here, and it will actually take a spark from flint and steel, which is quite amazing. It's, at least in Ohio, it's very difficult to find a natural material that will take a spark from flint and steel. I believe flint and steel, I think the spark is around 800 degrees compared to a ferrocerium rod that's around 3,000. So, if you can find a resource like that, that is actually quite plentiful. It's, milkweed grows all over in Ohio. That's definitely something to put in your, mental book of knowledge. And, it gives you just some more stuff to work with. Also, I discovered, let's see if I can do it with this one. Yes. When these are dried out, keep in mind also, I should have mentioned this, you cannot use these when they're green. They have to be dead, standing. If they're green, nothing that I've been talking about will work. They have to be dead. Now, if you notice on, let's see if this one will actually do it. There's a good piece. I guess you'd almost call it the outer bark of this. It actually peels right off in, nice strips. Get that up there. And you can fluff this up, and it makes a superior bird's nest tinder bundle. I don't know if it gets pretty thin, or pretty fluffy, so I would almost say you could use this as bird's nest. Definitely in a tinder bundle. But yeah, you get 5-6 of these plants, skin all of the bark off, or not sure if it's called bark. It's not a tree, but we're gonna call it bark for this. You basically just peel all of that off, and you can easily get yourself a very fine bird's nest tinder bundle. Interestingly enough, which is probably why this works so well, is milkweed is also a very, very good material to use for making natural cordage. So, you know, that kind of explains why it's almost consistency of like a, it's not quite like jute twine, but maybe, you know, some of your other natural rope materials other than cotton. Maybe like hemp, something like that. So, let me go ahead and, most of these have already broke open, so I don't think I'll be able to do the flint and steel today, but I'll go ahead and make a bird's nest out of the milkweed, and I'll use some of the flesh tinder from inside the pods, and we'll see if we can get a fire going. Stay with me. Alright, so I moved back up by the house to do the fire demo here, but I was able to find one of the milkweed pods that was just opening up, so it's still nice and dry in there. So as you can see, it's got all this nice fluffy, you know, cottony type material. Actually more silky, like, I don't know how to describe it. And then here's a nice dry piece of, it's what the seeds are attached to inside there. So that kind of shows you what that looks like. So let me go ahead and process down some of this milkweed and this fluff here. I'll make a quick bird's nest and tinder bundle, and we can see if we can get this thing lit. Hold on. Alright, so as you can see, it really processes down into a really fine bird's nest and tinder bundle. I've put all of the fluffy flesh tinder in the center here, and then the outside of it, I just used the, as we were calling it, the outer bark of the milkweed plant. And I do have a little bit of jute twine, just a little bit of jute twine dye mixed in just to make it a little fuller. But yeah, this is going to work great, I think. One thing you should keep in mind, the outer layer of that milkweed was a bit damp, so I would recommend just putting it in your pocket for maybe, you know, a half hour. You know, it doesn't matter how long it's in, or you can't have it in your pocket for too long. That's what I'm trying to say. The drier you can get this, the better. Alright. There you go. Just like that. One strike, you have fire. And that is a magnificent fire. That flesh tinder, you have to move very quickly, because you know, like I said, you only have about a second to manipulate that tinder bundle bird's nest, but yeah, this stuff works really well. So, you know, definitely have your sticks and everything ready to put around it, or on top of it. But, yeah, great stuff. I give it an A+. Well, once again, this has been Eric Sutch, Pioneer Survival Company. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube at Pioneer Survival Company. Also, check out our website at pioneersurvivalcompany.com, where we have videos, blog articles, we've got pictures from our adventures. We're also starting a new series called Wild in the World, where we basically give you a tour of different national parks, you know, state wildlife areas, you know, just different adventures that we've went on and thought you might like to see. All right, check it out. Thanks for watching.